my community Wala means belongs to, and this family name came about when my grandfather was settled here many years ago as a trader, and later on, after the Second World War, he moved over back to India because a lot of his business was destroyed. And when he went back, people started associating himself as Singapore because he came from Singapore. And the building I used to stay in Bombay was also called Singapore House. So you can imagine staying in India in Singapore House and called Singaporewalla. Yeah, so that's how the family name came about. Well, I am a general surgeon, and my daily working usually involves dealing with a lot of different types of patients who need various surgical problems settled. And apart from my specialty as general surgeon, I am also trained in head and neck endocrine. So we usually deal with these sort of patients who have thyroid problems, abdominal discomfort and other problems. But it is a very unique discipline because every day we see very different sort of cases. I personally feel it is a calling. A lot of people go and do medicine, but everybody doesn't become a surgeon. You realize very early in your career as a doctor whether you want to do something with your hands or you want to stay away from blood and gore and do a profession which is more like lifestyle surgery. But my journey into surgery began during my housemanship in India, when I was trained, and we realized that this is something I am comfortable with and I enjoy doing. So you have to enjoy surgery, otherwise it becomes a real ordeal for you to continue in that profession. It has lots of ups and downs, and it requires a lot of support from your family members and loved ones, because there are lots of sacrifices which have to be made. This happened when I was in Singapore, but my background training in head and neck cancer when I was in India did help me. At that time, when I was in Alexandra Hospital, the head of department was Professor Kenneth Mark, who is now currently the Director of Medical Services in Singapore. And we were planning to start this service in the Khoo Teck Puat Hospital. We didn't have an endocrine head and neck surgeon that time. And then he pushed me into this branch because he felt that with my background and training, it would be a very natural progression for me to set up and do the endocrine surgery work in Khoo Teck Puat. So that's how we started.